So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure and privilege to be here with each and every one of you today, and those of you listening in the future. And I partner with Diana Hunter and Gary Knapp. And today we're very privileged to have Kevin Robbins. Now, Kevin is a world-renowned speaker and one of the most popular trainers in Manatech. Starting in '94, by working just part-time in his Manatech business, Kevin has grown his business to a significant full-time income. Kevin met his wife, Dawn, on Manatech's cruise to Alaska in 1996. They have two healthy, now grown children. And following in his father's footsteps, in 2003, he was honored with the highest award the company bestows, the Ray Robbins Giving Spirit Award. He has certainly given generously of his time and skills to Manatech, serving on the advisory council for over 7 years. He's been in the top 100 income earners since '97. He has earned well over $1 million in Manatech and has been part of the Manatech board of directors since 2016. Kevin passionately represents the associate base, both the U.S. corporate and the board alike. In this call with Kevin, we're going to be exploring the absolute unique opportunity of a business with breakthrough glycan technology. Once in a lifetime and once of a kind. I think we all know deeply and passionately how powerful our wellness technology is. And I'm so excited that you're going to highlight this for us, Kevin. It's everyone's business dream, really.
Well, thank you, Sharon, for having me on here. And I want to thank you, Diana, for hosting as well. And for everyone that's joined this morning, I appreciate you being here. And my prayer is that, I can provide some value this morning for your time spent. I just want to say a couple things before we kind of get started on what I'm going to talk about. That my dad called me about an hour ago. Ray Robbins, for those of you who don't know, but I feel most of you do know my dad, one of the co-founders of Manatech. And he said, I just want you to tell all the Australians how much fun that I had with them in Thailand, because so many of you guys went over to Thailand, and he spent time with Sinead. And I know that there was a morning breakfast that were just for the Australian team. And you guys were really showing out at the Thailand event, and you made a huge impression on my father, and he just wanted me to pass it on to you of how much he enjoyed his time there. And so whether you or somebody on this call this morning were personally there, or you know people that were there, just know that your country is being well represented. You've got some great leaders. There's just a real opportunity right now with a lot of things that we're doing to really grow your business. And so anyway, I just wanted to pass those thoughts and comments on. I know you had my dad on, I don't know, a month or two ago on these calls. And so he enjoyed his time doing these. So
Well, Kevin, I just want to jump. Can I just jump in before I go? We did a highlight of the Thailand call, so some of the people that went over there, and your dad was the highlight of their trip. Like last week, we were talking and we were laughing, and everybody was saying their highlight was Ray Robbins. So you can pass that on. So I'll go off camera.
Well,
I'm going to sit back and listen.
I will pass that on to Dad and tell him that he will greatly, greatly appreciate that. Funny thing, again, just give you a little transparency, because I know everybody thinks, oh, Ray Robbins is just so, confident. Boy, he can just talk to people, and he can, of course. But I'll tell you that Dad was a little nervous about going to Thailand, and you know what I'm saying. Nervous in the right way. Excited is probably the better way of saying it. But, he would talk to me about, hey, what's some of the things I can say? And I just want to make sure I have the right impact. And part of that comes from, he's not been in a place where he's traveled a lot lately. As I was saying at the beginning of this, we're doing so much on Zoom that a lot of us don't have to travel as much as we did before, which is great. But being able to go see people face to face is something that we all love. So anyway, so Dad was just a little anxious about the trip and wanting to make sure that, he brought the value that people wanted. And so I know that means a lot, and I will pass that back along to him. So what I want to talk about this morning is a little bit of a pivot from what my topics usually are on these calls. I'm more of the business guy, compensation guy. Those are the topics that I'm more comfortable with and that I typically share. But I'm going to go a little more product and science today. I'm not going to be Dr. Nugent. You have him next week. I'm going to be your everyman product guy today. And I'm just going to share some things that I think are going to be of real interest and value to you. Um, I'm sure that you've picked up on Landon Frederick, our CEO, and some of his languaging about glycans and talking about multi-glycan supplementation, making that a household name. And I'm just telling you that's not just words that Landon is speaking. There is a lot of action behind those words and a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. Um, One thing that I think is important that I made a little note to myself, this is not like a pivot for us by any means. The multi-glycan, maybe the term is new, but the idea that we want to spotlight glycans, which historically we'd have called that glyconutrients, but the scientific word in the science community is glycans. And again, I'm going to talk about that here on this presentation. But we have always known that we had something incredibly special with ambertose. And so this is not a pivot from that. If anything, it is an opportunity for us to spotlight what glycans are, to try to package it differently. Maybe that's the best way of saying it. It's package ambertose, package the message a little differently, so that maybe we don't come across so sciencey, because that was maybe where our comfort zone was in the past, was the deep dive into the science. Some of what I'm going to share today is a little sciencey, but I'm going to give you kind of a well-rounded picture of where we're going with glycans and the multi-glycan messaging. And this is in process. What I'm sharing today is not any kind of a finished message. It's all in process, and there's a lot of smart people in our marketing department that are working on things. We're hiring some third-party outside marketing and influencers, and opportunities to really share this message. But at the end of the day, what's important is we want everyone to know what ambertose is. We want everyone to know how valuable multi-glycans are, and that's going to do nothing but help all of us that are part of this company, to really spread the message. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I do not have a presentation, if you will. I've got a lot of pieces of information that I'm going to share. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'm going to be showing a video. I'm going to show, something, a picture of something. I got just some things I'm going to read. So give me a little grace, if you will. This isn't like a fancy presentation. I will put some things also in the chat when I share some language at the end of today. And by the way, so kind of just an overview. I'm going to start off by just going back to glycans in general and what they are, and know that this isn't something new, and try to give you a picture of the world of glycans kind of outside of Manatech. That's where I'm going to start. But then where we're going to end is some Manatech messaging, some things that we're going to be able to say and talk about, new video that we have on glycans. And so I'm going to kind of cover all of that with you today. Okay, so I'm going to start with this idea that the benefits of glycans span the spectrum from, relatively subtle to being absolutely crucial to our bodies, right? And a lot of people know that, but so glycans are essential to life, and you're gonna see some messaging around glycans are life, and that's where it comes from. That they're absolutely crucial to our bodies. Glycans actually fit into three categories. One is they play a structural role. We're familiar with that, understanding that on the outside of every cell, there are glycans and there's proteins and these protein glycan structures. But that's one of the roles that glycans play, is the structural role on the outside of your cell. Another role is energy metabolism. This is one that we don't talk about a lot, but energy metabolism and nutrient storage is another category. So again, of the three, you got structural role, energy metabolism, and then the third one is information carriers. Now, that's one that we are familiar with. We understand the concept of cell-to-cell communication and how valuable glycans are for cellular communication. So again, part of today is just kind of an education, whether you're very familiar with this information or it's new to you. I just want to educate you right now on what are glycans. So that's what they do. Also understand that there are different glycans. There's not just one, right? There's different glycans in nature. Glycans, of course, these biological sugars that are found in nature, and they perform many different functions, right? So these glycans perform many different functions, as I just laid out. But here's something that you can use. All of them, all of the glycans are found in a simple monosaccharides that are included in ambertose from mannatech, right? So all of the different functions that glycans do are found in these simple monosaccharides that are included in ambertose from mannatech. All right, so there is my introduction. I want to show you a video. Again, I'm going to show you, see if we can share this. This is actually a very short video. It's less than a minute long. Here it is. This video actually came out in 2012, I believe, and it was from a company that was selling skincare, Yves Saint Laurent. I'm just going to play this video for you. You know what? I did not do the audio thing. Hold on, I'm back up. I have to optimize the video clip. There we go. Now we're going to do this. Here we go.
At the very origins of life, when the world was created, first core components of the living appeared. Glycans. Glycans are sophisticated sugar chains playing a key role in every aspect of life. Glycans provide energy to the cell, structure DNA. They shape and direct proteins and even determine blood types. Glycans are essential to cellular communication. Glycans are youth keys.
Okay, I told you it was short, but a powerful video that for our purpose, it's just more of an education about what glycans are. Now, Yves Saint Laurent is a skincare product, and they are applying the glycan technology to skin. As a matter of fact, they have a quote in their information that says, glycans are the wonder ingredient you've never heard of that could make you look years younger. Glycans are the wonder ingredient that you've never heard of that can make you look years younger. Now, when we talk about glycans, we're mostly talking about them in general health for immune support, digestion, etc. But we've got phenomenal skincare as well that use glycan technology. They're part of the multi-glycan strategy that mannatech has using the glycan technology. So our glycans are the wonder ingredient that you may not have ever heard of before that can make you look years younger. So there's a quote for you, right? I think that's pretty strong. But again, that's a major company out there that is talking about glycans. And that's part of what I'm presenting today is this is not something new so much. It's a relatively new field of science. I mean, when you're talking about the last 15 years or so, this whole scientific field has just exploded. So it's in the big scheme of, the last 200 or 300 years, it's a very relatively new field of science, but it's not new, and not as in, just in the last few years, but this field is just exploding and growing in many places, but not so much in the place that mannatech wants to fit in. And that's what I'm going to come back and share that with you towards the end. There's actually a textbook called Essentials of Glycobiology. I just want to show this to you. I thought it was really cool. So here we go. Essentials of Glycobiology. I actually have a son that is a orthopedic surgeon. He's a first-year resident. And so this is something that they teach in medical school. He even talked to me about when he was learning about this. But in chapter 51, in this textbook, in chapter 51, the title is glyconomics, right? Glycomics. I just want to read you one quote from this chapter. It says, "No biological system is complete without interrogating the glycome, defined as the entire complement of glycan structures designed by cells." The key phrase here is no biological system in the body is complete, right? Without these glycans, no biological system in the body. So this is really big. And it's something that, here's our problem, is we know how big this is, and yet how do you communicate this? How do you show someone, what glycans are really all about without going into a, 2-hour-long presentation? So hopefully what I'm doing is giving you right now just some third-party validation. That video I showed on Yves Saint Laurent, you can find it on YouTube. And there's others. There's other things that are out there about glycans that are mind-blowing. Some of the things, there's a video that I was going to share with you tonight that I chose to not share because there was one part in there that I was like, yeah, that probably is a little over the line from a compliance standpoint. But it's out there. It's not Manitech stuff. There's so much validation for how important these glycans are. And as we know, Manitech provides nutritional glycans, are the only source of nutritional glycans, in the world that, contain all the 8 saccharides. So anyway, I'm not trying to turn you into scientists. That's not what today's all about. I'm just trying to point out that there is tremendous amount of third-party validation, and that's huge for us, right? We want to have third-party validation. Now, I want to show you one more thing. Let's see, let's stop sharing there. Let's talk about some of these studies and how, people might say that you run into, well, I've never heard of this before. Is this really a thing? This is actually the number of glycan studies from 1990 up to 2023. So again, not Manitech studies. This is in the world of scientific studies on glycans. So in the early 90s, this is actually where Manitech started. And for the most part, no one had really even heard of glycans. They weren't even using this term back then. Manitech was an innovator, a tremendous innovator in 1994 when we launched Manitech, and then ultimately had Ambertos by 1996. Again, massive innovator. We were before our time, but look at how many studies there are. By 2023, over 4,000 published studies on glycans. And a lot of these are public information, some of them aren't. Point is not to become an expert in the individual studies, but to be able to show people this chart. Again, I can actually send this chart to Sharon, so that, if this would be something you're interested in. I think, again, it gives really good third-party validation. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing here. So now what I want to do, I'm going to kind of pivot a little bit, and I want to get a little more practical. I want to talk a little bit more about some specific things that we can say, some specific tools that we can use. And again, anything that I've already shared today, you can use that too. You can use any of the language that I'm sharing. But one of my favorite tools right now, before we get specifically to Manitech, but I use this, I'm using it in presentations, I'm using it in one-on-ones. I can't promise that it's always going to work. I can't promise that at some point there might be something a reason that we wouldn't use this, but believe it or not, right now I'm using ChatGPT. I think that's way better than Google. ChatGPT AI is, I think, a really good third-party validation. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. All right, come back here. I have it right here. So just before we went live today, I went to my ChatGPT and I asked the question, what are glycans? That's it. What are glycans? Now, could you ask one of your prospects to type that in and just say, hey, why don't you check out what glycans are? And let me know what you think. Well, let me pause on that comment. Let me just read you a few of this, just really quick. Glycans are complex carbohydrates that are found on the surface of cells, proteins, and lipids. They play a crucial role in various biological processes, including cellular communication, immune response, and protein function. Structurally, glycans are composed of chains of simple sugar molecules such as glucose, mannose, and galactose. Do you recognize any of those? We know that there's more of them as well, but they're just using that, or ChatGPT as an example. Glucose, mannose, and galactose linked together in various patterns. These sugar chains can vary in length and complexity, giving rise to a wide variety of glycan structures. It talks about characteristics. I'm going to kind of skip that. I don't think that's of tremendous value today, but let's look at the function of glycans. Number one, cell recognition and signaling. We've already talked about that's the cellular communication. Immune system modulation. Glycans are involved in the immune system, helping immune cells distinguish between normal body cells and foreign invaders, such as bacteria or viruses. Again, folks, this is not Manatech saying this. This is not you saying this. This is actually a lot of what I was kind of sharing before in some of those other videos and, you know, the glycobiology textbook. It's pulling that information and putting it in a very concise, easy to understand format here in ChatGPT. The functions are also protein folding and stability, pathogen interactions, etc. In summary, glycans are essential molecules that support numerous biological functions, especially in cell communication, immunity, and maintaining the stability of proteins. You do not have to be a science expert to simply type in, what are glycans? Or ask somebody that's like, what? Tell me about this amyloidose. I don't really understand it. What's glycans? Just say, hey, do a little research on your own. Type in what are glycans. Once they do that, if you ask it some follow-up questions, it tells you some pretty amazing things, again, that I'm not going to read on a call like this. Because, again, we don't, our glycans are not for treatment of drugs. Treatment of disease or to be used as drugs. We know that we're coming at this from a nutritional application. So it's a different application than what you find a lot on the internet, but it's just as powerful. We're not synthesizing our glycans. We take the natural ingredient, for instance, from the aloe plant. That's where we get mannose. We use the natural aloe that we get from Costa Rica. And that's what makes Manipul. That's the whole process, but we don't synthesize it. A lot of the pharmaceutical companies out there that are doing a lot of research are synthesizing these complex carbohydrates, these glycans, and they're doing it for drug applications and various other things. But and that's fine. I think that's going to be a huge opportunity in the next probably 10 years of medical intervention. But what we're doing is nutritional intervention, and I think from a health standpoint, natural and nutritional application is a much better way to go. So again, there is ChatGPT. So let me show you about what Manatech is saying. So I got just a couple more things that I want to share with you. Manatech just came out with a brand new video, and I want to, that's not the right one. I want to show this to you. And this is in the library. Let's see, here we go. Hope it's in the Australian library. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but again, I can share this with Sharon if not. But again, it's 1 minute, 23 seconds, but I think it's really powerful. So here we go. Oh, you know what? I got to remember to do that. Hold on. Optimize sound. There we go. Okay.
Life begins with a single cell. Within this tiny unit lies the blueprint for all living things, DNA. DNA holds the instructions for creating life, but it's the proteins that animate these instructions. Think of proteins as the diligent workers carrying out the blueprint's tasks. But what enables these proteins to perform their tasks accurately? Enter glycans. These sophisticated carbohydrate chains sit atop proteins, relaying essential messages and guiding cellular functions. Glycans are fundamental. They provide energy, support DNA structure, shape and direct proteins, and play a crucial role in cellular communication. At Manatech, we recognize the transformative power of glycans. Our philosophy, glycans are life, is built on the belief that when cells communicate and function properly, every aspect of health improves. Our approach to health is rooted in science, ensuring that your cells function correctly. When your cells are healthy, so are you. Experience the Manitech difference. Let Glycans unlock a healthier, more vibrant you. Manitech. Glycans are life.
So I love that little video. I think it's so easy to share. It's brand new. If there is a pivot in Manitech's message, what we're really focused on is trying to simplify. Now, I don't know if what I've shared today makes it simple or more complicated, but from the corporate side, they're trying to simplify our message so that, you know, we have this really big concept that does some amazing things. And again, our kind of history was we wanted to go into the deep dive, hour-long, 2-hour-long presentation on all the science. And again, there's a place for that. Dr. Nugent next week is going to be sharing a lot of that science. There is a place for that, but it's not our place. I'm talking about ours as in, you know, an associate just talking to our neighbor about ambertose. We don't have to be the expert in glyconutrition. We simply can point somebody here, point somebody there, show a 1-minute video and just say glycans are life. And these things can transform your health, your immune support, all the things, cellular communication. And let's give multi-glycans a shot. Let's give it a try. And we have money back guarantee. And so that's what the goal is to simplify this, make it mainstream, and yet not lose, of course, the incredible value and importance that glycans provide. Okay, I'm going to share the last thing I'm doing is I'm going to put in the chat just some language that the company is working on. This is not like a finalized, like I said at the beginning, none of this is finalized. But there's 2 different ways to message. One is more from the simplified, everyday, every man, every woman perspective, and the other is a little bit more sciencey. And again, it's kind of, you can pick and choose. Let me find it here, and I'm going to put it in the chat. First thing I'm going to do is cover the simple speak. So here we go. I'm going to highlight it. Put it in your chat so you got it. There it is. And boom, there. Okay. There we go. All right. So I'm just gonna read this to you. And again, this could be something you send somebody in a text or an email, or, you know, maybe some of these words just become part of the way that you speak about it. But this is just an attempt to put everything together, right? So the big problem we're solving with multi-glycan supplementation is that modern diets and lifestyles are just messing up how our cells talk to each other, which can lead to poor health, low energy, and weak immune systems. Our solution helps fix this communication breakdown, allowing the body to function better and stay healthier. Again, very simple yet powerful concepts, I hope. By offering a unique, powerful blend of glycans, Manitech stands out as the leader in a new kind of supplement that actually helps people get healthier at the cellular level, something regular supplements just can't do. I think that's powerful. Really, really strong, especially if that's coupled with maybe that video that we just watched, or, you know, some other, you know, your personal testimony. I think that is great. Now I want to just share with you a little more science perspective. Let's see. And I literally just got these a couple hours ago. So I hope this comes across. All right. So this one just, again, it's the same message, just maybe a little different way. The big problem we're solving with multi-glycan supplementation is the decline in optimal cellular communication and function due to poor diet and modern lifestyles. This issue leads to weakened immune systems and overall diminished health. Our solution provides a way to restore and enhance the body's natural glycosylation process, which is crucial for cell-to-cell communication, immune response, and overall well-being. By offering a unique proprietary multi-glycan blend, Manitech is positioned as the leader in this new essential category, giving people a tangible, effective way to improve their health at the cellular level, something no ordinary supplement can achieve. So again, still fairly simple, little more context in that one. But this is just, again, kind of where the company is today in this new effort to simplify the message and yet broaden our scope around multi-glycans. So that's what I was wanting to share with you today. Just kind of give you some of that perspective, because I know that sometimes over there, in Australia, you might hear a few of these things, see it on calls, and it takes a little while for some of this messaging to filter to you guys. And again, not for any reason other than we're at the corporate office, we're still working on all of these things. It's taken a while to filter to our people here in the US and Canada as well. What I just shared with you is literally hot off the press, as I said, just in the last couple of hours. I kind of got this, and again, some of that messaging might change in the next week or two. It doesn't matter. It's just an idea. It's an example, some things that you can use along with maybe the video that I just shared. Heck, I love that Yves Saint Laurent video as well. And then some of the other sources that I provided. So Sharon, I am going to just pause here. I don't really, from a presentation standpoint, that's really what I came to talk about. You can come back if you will. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. We don't have to just go an hour to go an hour, but I'm happy to hang out with you guys and talk about whatever we can.
Awesome, Kevin. And there's some comments in here. We're not usually the first cabs on the rank on the new information, so we deeply appreciate that. And one thing I did think of is there's also, I've seen, remember when you came on a presentation a while ago with, I think it was about a 20 or 30-minute video for Manitech, and it was going to be made available for international. What's the most recent video resources that Australasia could use? Because I saw Al Bala came out with a video. I just saw it yesterday, I think, on business. And I haven't looked at it to see if it'd be relevant for Australia. Do you have any ideas?
Well, so we are doing live opportunity meetings every Tuesday night here in the US. And so we have a presentation that we've been doing. Again, just like everything else, we're still kind of in the tweaking phase of it. Al did that meeting just this last Tuesday with kind of an updated presentation, just kind of continuing to massage it and try to make it right, or make it the most effective that we can. And so that's available. The only thing that wouldn't, I don't even know. I mean, we talk about like make $500 to $1,000 a month. I think that's just as relative, even though we're talking US dollars, it's the same. It's just as relevant to you guys in Australia, $500,000 a month. I don't think there's anything in there. Like, we don't go into any kind of deep dive compensation. And of course, our comp plans are the same. It's just the difference between the Australian dollar and US dollar and those kind of things. But anyway, I think for the most part, it would be very relevant for you there, and that it is recorded. So we do the meetings live. Live would be very difficult for you guys, I think, because I think they're at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. So what's that, 10 p.m. your time? So maybe not that difficult. But definitely they're recorded. And so I would if you don't have it, I'll get Al's recording, Sharon, and send to you so that you have that that you can share. I think Al did a great job, and it's about 30 minutes. I think he did it, talk for like 20 minutes, 25. And then there were some testimonials. I was on there at the end, and a couple other testimonials. So I think the whole thing maybe was 30, 35 minutes. So these are not your typical hour-long presentation like we used to do. So I'm not sure if that was your question.
Yeah.
As far as like videos from Manitech, what I shared with you, the Glycan video is probably the newest video that we have.
Okay. And there's several questions about the Yves Saint Laurent video, and I think
I can send you that link. It's just or the video. It's just it's on YouTube, but I'll send you what I have, Sharon, so you can share it. It's public, it's not ours, of course. It's we didn't make it, but Yves Saint Laurent has that out in public, so yeah, it's available.
Yeah, I've seen it before, but it's a good reminder, that's for sure. Everything Kevin sends me, I'll put links in the comments on the YouTube video description. So our need is still the return of glycoscience. Any progress? So that's glycoscience.org.
Yeah, I get it, Robin. We all are wanting glycoscience. I know that's a kind commitment from Manitech. Again, I'll just total transparency. This is not a choice of like Manitech wanted to take that down. We've been just in America, our regulatory environment has gotten really challenging. And the FDA is one that, boy, they're really tight on everything. And so essentially what they asked us, well, they didn't ask us to do it. We did it out of, instead of being reactionary, we did it, first, that we decided, instead of thinking we might get in trouble, that we wanted to, every single study that was on glycoscience, we are having it to be reviewed, every word, every study, everything, to make sure that there's not any claims in there or anything in there that could be considered a false claim or whatever, just to flag the FDA. So it is a really cumbersome process. It's taken a long time. But that being said, I know that Landon, I know that our science team, I know Dr. Nugent, I know Tate would have been probably, you may not have known, but that he would have been the right person to ask. But this is not an oversight. It's not, again, it's not a choice that Manitech just said, hey, we're gonna take this down. We don't like it. We love glycoscience and we know how valuable it is. And we know how important it is to get it back out. It may not look exactly like it did before. But anyway, so there's that.
That's Robin, think of TGA. Like the regulatory overreach is insane.
Yeah. And I don't want you to think we're not in trouble or we didn't get in trouble or whatever, but we know that the FDA is one that they're really, just going over everything with a fine tooth comb for companies. And once companies do get in trouble, then you can never get those guys off your back. So this is just, again, being very proactive in making sure that we're, always as legal as we can possibly be in every sense.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as the health regulatory overreach crumbles, because that's what it's going to be in the future, health freedom will return, and we'll be able to, tell the truth about glycans and their power.
That's right.
The world's waiting for us to have that free speech, and scientific integrity. Any other questions? I know there was a question on a one-pager, but I think that's going to be quite difficult, Denise, but maybe we can gather together and work that out for you. Any other questions for Kevin? I think this is a really, there's a lot of chatter in there. That's great. Thanks, you guys. I think this is a really important 40 minutes to spend together on. I think that you have lots of food of thought for people in their communication going forward. And I support, I've been using nutritional glycans for some time now, but it's good to have all our marketing in alignment, and so that we're all talking the same story. And I think that's what will, as a community, grow Manitech to where it should be, which is
definitely a
household name.
I know I'm preaching to the choir, but if anybody is on here that may not totally understand, when we say the glycan strategy, that's not just for general health, immune support, and ambertose only. We're going to have these glycans, essentially in every one of our main product categories. So we're taking the benefits of the glycans that Yves Saint Laurent was talking about, and it's in the Luminovation, right? And we're taking the benefits of the glycans for weight loss and it's in our weight loss product. We may not have done the best job of positioning it and talking about it, but we're going to be doing that. We're going to be putting the spotlight on those things. So glycans are part of who Manitech is. And that's, this whole communication strategy is about refocusing on the benefits and value of glycans across our entire product line.
And Kevin, what's in your heart to leave business partners with Manitech Australasia as we finish today?
Yeah, just again, my appreciation for all of you, and many of you have been around for a long time. And I appreciate, we've come out of some difficult times, several years ago, and so we're still around the world just dealing with some challenges. But Manitech is a company that provides hope, and there's people that need what we have, whether that's a product need, whether that is a business need. Sometimes just maybe need to have a purpose in life, and that's where M5M comes in. But we are providing hope and value to people. And those of you on this Zoom call this morning, again, thank you for all that you've done. But let's let's amp it up. Let's ramp it up. Let's take the message that we've talked about today and share that and get that to new people, because that's who needs it. That's who needs the Manatech. That's who needs hope. That's who needs what you have. Dad always talks about, he doesn't see himself as, making a sale or trying to convince people. He believes that he has a gift to share. And so it's up to him to share that gift with people. And again, it's up to you to accept the gift or not accept the gift. But that's what he has to bring is a gift. And that's what Manatech is. It's a gift to share with somebody who might be looking for that hope right now. So I just encourage you to continue to share it. Know that you're in the right company with the right products. And we are really excited about your growth and your opportunity. We're super happy with Sinead. I know you are as well. We're seeing just some really, really good things in Australia, and getting the groups together and seeing some really positive signs. So appreciate you sticking with us, and let's take this thing up another level.
God bless you, Kevin. Thank you so much for your time and the effort that you put to present to us today. It's been just the right thing to do. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you.